we'll be covering distance education and its brief history. Some terms that have been used besides distance education are distance correspondence, distance learning. So it hasn't always been clearly defined because it's really been shaped throughout history. One definition is distance education is a form of instruction characterized by the physical separation of teacher from student, exempt from the occasional face-to-face meetings allowed for by some projects. So our course right now is a distance education course. The evolution really stemmed from paper to internet, and so paper correspondence started back in the mid-19th century. Its earliest founder was Isaac Pitman, where he created a penny post system where students were instructed to copy passages of the Bible and return them for grading. And in 1844, due to the penny post system, another program called the Phonographic Correspondence Society was created because of Isaac's trailblazing, essentially. In 1856 to 1906, Anna Elliott Thickner really brought correspondence study to the U.S. She created the Society to Encourage Studies at Home, had about 10,000 members in 24 years, which were mostly women, and the individuals who utilized this were really anyone who wanted to learn. Women, people with disabilities, those working, farmers, many live in remote areas, and even though the paper correspondence could take weeks for assignments to be graded, the desire to learn really overshadowed the delay in response, and it still had high numbers. In the 1920s, globalization really inspired new ways of conducting distance education, and about 176 radio stations were constructed. Many died out, but those who thrived were at land-grant institutions. WHA radio station was one of the first in the United States, but the impressive one was British Open University in 1969 to 1971 when it started. It set one of the earliest distance education programs at a massive level, so it wasn't just within the university. Had large numbers and it eventually opened to everyone, but it was impressive because it used mixed media for teaching, so text, audio, visuals, and even tutoring over the phone. And because of its heightened prestige to distance education, it really allowed other institutions to follow course, and so 4 more institutions were created in Europe and about 20 more across the world, anywhere from Sri Lanka to Japan, others in Europe, the United States, so it was pretty impressive. In the 1940s and 1950s, television took off, broadcasting some learning courses. The Western Reserve University was the first U.S. Credited institution to provide courses via television, but in the 1960s, when state and federally funded satellite tech took off, it really led to a rapid spread of instructional television. Learn Alaska was a big one. It offered 6 hours of television serving about 100 villages, and it was the first state-funded educational satellite program. Teleconferencing also was pretty big in regards to this. Fiber optic communication not only increased the quality of video and audio capability, but it also allowed people to hear, see, and talk in real time. So even though television and radio were awesome and they did allow for a great expansion, it was limited because there was only one way of delivery of instruction. It wasn't until the 1990s and onward when the internet really created a new game for distance education. The universal availability of emails and internet created virtual classrooms and higher accessibility to distance degree programs and opportunities. But one main thing is it really established the first bi-directional communication for students between them and their instructors. So FaceTiming, Skyping, emailing, watching videos, everything. And so it still dominates today. And in most cases, teachers still organize the material and the students utilize the material with their classmates to learn and participate in online discussions.